look at some playoff peach to start off the show today. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, obviously in full swing. 3 NBA playoff games today and 4 more NHL playoff games on the card. We're going to start with Game 2 of Bucks and Pacers tonight. Officially, Damian Lillard going to be in for Game 2 from Milwaukee. So right now, at BetMGM, the spread is down to Indiana, 3.5. The total is sitting there at 228.5. That's where I'm looking as the total. I like the under in the game at 228.5. I think this is too many points. It was 117.95 in Game 1. And obviously, Dame's going to be back for Game 2, so that helps if you're betting the over. And pretty much everybody outside of Giannis for Milwaukee did nothing. Giannis had 36. Kyle Kuzma didn't score at all. We're going to get it to him in a moment. But nobody outside of the Bucks really stepped up. So I think odds makers certainly expecting a better team effort from Milwaukee tonight, especially with Dame back in the lineup. And then for the Pacers, really everybody chipped in, but Halliburton had an off shooting night as well. He was 3 for 13 from the field, 0 for 7 from downtown. So you look at that score, 212, right? It's a 228.5. Both teams, certainly Game 1 usually is a feeling out type game. We saw unders go 6-2 in Game 1. I am expecting there to be some more points scored, but maybe only like 221, 222. I still think 228.5 is too many, so I'm going under there. No play for me on the spread. 2 props I do like in the game, though. We're going over points on both Kyle Kuzma and Tyrese Halliburton. Kyle Kuzma's points prop tonight at BetMGM is only 9.5. It is minus 140 to take the over, but I would still lay the juice on that. Since Kuzma, or I should say in his last 15 games for the Bucks in the regular season, 14 of the last 15 games, he scored in double digits. He had 10 or more points. Now again, he had 0 in Game 1. He didn't play well. He only took 5 shots. He played about 22 minutes. But with Lillard back, and Lillard and Giannis together, Kuzma's going to slide back into that role where he's the third option and much more comfortable there. Not as much pressure on him, not drawing some of the better defensive assignments from Indiana. So Kuzma can't play any worse than he did in Game 1. He actually didn't record anything on the stat sheet, didn't have an assist, didn't have a rebound, didn't have a point. He had a blackout, as we like to call it. So he can't play any worse than he did. I would expect him to play much better tonight. I like over 9.5 points for Kyle Kuzma. I also like over 16.5 points for Tyrese Halliburton, or over 18.5 points, excuse me. I think this is too low as well. I think Halliburton is going for at least 20 tonight for Indiana. Again, 3 for 13 from the field, 0 for 7 from downtown, 12 assists for Halliburton. That's the thing that I really like about Tyrese. When he realizes his shot's not going down, he's going to make plays for other people. But I think in Game 2 tonight, he's going to step up. He's too good of a player, too good of a scorer to have that bad a shooting night and that low a scoring night 2 games in a row. So I think he bounces back. I like Kuzma and Halliburton over their point totals for tonight. Then we got the Grizzlies and the Thunder in OKC. Thunder a 14.5 point favorite. The total in this game is 228.5. Oklahoma City won Game 1 by 51 points, 131-80. Now that was a terrible spot for Memphis. They had the 2 play-in games against Golden State and Dallas. Ja Morant was banged up. You had OKC at home. Crowd was rocking, and they were just ready to go. And once I talked about this on my Sunday show that I have inside the betting lines right here on the BetMGM network. Memphis, a lot of these big underdog teams that we have in the playoffs, right? The Magic against the Celtics, the Heat against the Cavs, and the Grizzlies against the Thunder. Their objective for these first 2 games is just to get a split. They don't care whether it's Game 1 or Game 2, but I think in Game 1, Memphis realized pretty quickly it just wasn't going to be their night. In Game 2, I would expect a much better effort and a much different Grizzlies team than what we saw in that Game 1. So I actually like the Grizzlies tonight, plus 14.5. It is scary betting against OKC because of what a juggernaut they are, and they have dominated these matchups against the Grizzlies here as of late. I think 14.5 is too much, though. I think Grizzlies keep it close, so I like them. Plus the points. No props for me in that game. No props for me in Timberwolves-Lakers either, but I do like Minnesota plus the 5.5 against the Lakers. You guys, Minnesota's been an awesome road team in the NBA playoffs the last couple of years. You think about what they did last postseason when they went 6-2. They swept the road games at Phoenix. They won 3 of 4 at Denver. They won 1 of the 2 games on the road at Dallas. And then in Game 1, obviously blew out the Lakers as well. I think everybody is just expecting the Lakers to bounce back tonight. And they certainly could. I mean, they got Luka and LeBron. They're favored to win the series at the start. But the Timberwolves, they are a great road team. And again, I think a lot of us last year, when you look at Phoenix, when they were down 0-2 and they went home to Phoenix. A lot of us were expecting the Suns to win Game 3. They didn't do that. When Denver lost Game 1 at home last year to Minnesota, a lot of us were expecting them to bounce back in Game 2. They didn't do that. So Minnesota, I feel like recently, going back to last year, when it seems like, oh, they took Game 1, the other team's going to bounce back, they're going to win that next game that they have to win. Doesn't always happen necessarily with Minnesota. They did shoot the 3-ball really well in Game 1. I would not expect them to shoot the ball like they did. But even so, this was a top 10 offensive and defensive team in the regular season, one of 4 teams that were able to say that in the NBA. I think they match up pretty well with the Lakers. Wouldn't surprise me if they win again tonight. So I like Minnesota plus 5.5 against the Lakers. As for the NHL playoffs, Hurricanes and Devils Game 2 tonight, I would look at the Canes on the puck line at plus money tonight against the Devils. This is just a terrible matchup for New Jersey. They're missing their best player, Jack Hughes, going up against an already really good defensive team in Carolina. They won Game 1, 4-1. I would expect something pretty similar tonight, like 4-1, 5-2, 5-1, something in that neighborhood. Really like the Canes on the puck line tonight against New Jersey. Then we got the Maple Leafs and the Senators. I think this is going to be an upset tonight. Give me Ottawa plus 155 against the Leafs. Now, here's the thing about Toronto, right? Whenever they get to the postseason, it feels like whenever they play really well and they're heading into the next game, and kind of the general consensus, the vibe around the series is Leafs are going to handle business. They're the much better team. They're going to cruise to a 2-0 series lead. That's what I like betting into. I like fading the Leafs when they think that they have everybody right where they want them. Usually they throw us for a curveball. They never make it easy on their fans. And Ottawa swept Toronto in the regular season series. So there is a matchup here that they can exploit. I think they win Game 2 tonight. Give me the Sens plus 155. Panthers and Lightning, I cannot wait to watch this series. The winner of this series could go on to win the Stanley Cup. Florida could go back-to-back. Certainly the Lightning are good enough to win it as well. But I'm going to stay away from Game 1. I'm going to probably stay away from this series in totality. And then we got the Golden Knights and the Wild. I bet this game to go to overtime at plus 360. I think this is going to be like a 2-2 game going to OT. I think it's going to be tight. It's going to be close. Would not shock me if Minnesota won tonight, but I'm staying away. I like the value we're getting on OT at plus 360.